guys, we're back. It's another episode of the Fearless Pursuit of Freedom podcast. It's been a long time, but I've got a great guest on today, John Jackson out of the DFW area, specifically Fort Worth. And I believe we're going to be talking about lease options today. So I'd like to welcome you guys, and please welcome John Jackson here. Thanks for coming on.
What is up, Brandon? Man, it's awesome to be here, man. I cannot believe, as long as I've been around, I've never been on Fearless Pursuit of Freedom. What's up with that? Why am I just now being, invited on this? Because you saved the best for last, right?
Yeah, that's exactly it. Yeah.
I've seen some of the other people you've interviewed. They're all crap. I'm glad I'm finally here to bring up your ratings on iTunes.
Yeah, I need it. It's been slumping. So I appreciate you doing that for me.
Yeah, you bet. By the way, I like the hair gel you're using. I like that hair product.
Yeah. No, it works good. So
if I had more hair, I'd use it.
Yeah, a little bit of gel, a little bit of hairspray, and it's good.
All right, man. Well, man, no, it is good to be here. I love doing podcasts with you and a lot of the people I know. It's always a lot of fun to share the wealth and share the wealth of knowledge,
Yeah. No, we appreciate it. So let's get a little quick, brief history. How long you been in real estate, and why did you choose real estate?
So this is we're recording this October 1st. So it's been almost 45 days that I got into real estate, but I crushed it hard. I hit it really, really hard.
10X, right?
What's that?
10X, right?
10X, baby. 10X.
Yeah,
right. So I started I started leasing to buy the company in 2003 and focused specifically on lease options. And the reason I focused on lease options is this, especially for the people that are watching or listening to this, if you're getting started, there's so many different ways to get started in real estate, so many different options. There's, rentals, fix and flip, subject to, Section 8, foreclosures, whatever the case may be. But when I was starting off in real estate, I was looking at what was going to fit my personality, what was my personality and my risk level. And my background was trading stocks and trading options. And so I kept running across lease options. But there wasn't much out there at the time, Brandon, about lease options. Really what was out there, Brandon, was how to use lease options to get money down from people that will never be able to qualify for a house. And then in a year, you kick them out and do it all over again. Well, that's basically how to rip people off.
Right.
And so I liked the concept of the lease option, but not the way it was being used. And so then I went to work developing leasing to buy, which was how to structure the lease option properly so that it's a win-win-win for everybody. So that the seller wins, the buyer wins, we win. And so we've developed it over the years to where now our success rate, Brandon, of people getting into our program on the buying side and getting financed within 12 months is over 98%. Within 12 months, they get financed. That's unheard of. But it's not something that happened overnight. I've done this for, coming up on 17 years. Oh, my gosh. And so we've definitely tweaked it to where it is. We've definitely created a system now to allow buyers to get into the program and get financed really within 12 months.
Yeah. Okay, so that's nowhere near what I thought it was what you were doing at all. I assumed you were buying the asset, remodeling, and then selling it owner finance in some sort of rent-to-own type of deal, but there's a seller involved.
Yeah, so what we do is there's three types of lease options. There's the sandwich lease option, the straight lease option, and there's a lease option assignment. Okay. Now, my good friend Joe McCall, who's a good friend of mine, which you ought to, if you haven't had him on your podcast, you ought to have him on your podcast. I can make the intro. He calls it wholesaling lease options, which is actually a little bit of a misnomer because they're not wholesaling anything. But we specialize in lease option assignments. And so what we do is we're putting a contract together with the owner for the lease purchase, and then we're assigning that to the end buyer. Okay, kind of like with a wholesale deal where you're signing a contract and you wholesale it. You sign that contract. We're doing something similar in the sense we're signing a contract with that owner, except that contract is for full price. They don't pay any commission. And again, the end buyer is going to get financed within 10 to 12 months. The end buyer even gets a home warranty on the house. So it's really hands off for the owner. Well, then we assign that contract to the end buyer, to the tenant buyer.
Right.
Then if they need help with credit improvement, we've got everything in place, that financing, everything to help them get financed within 10 to 12 months. Right. So there's the seller, there's a buyer. We're just assigning that contract.
Interesting. And then you figure out a way to get paid in the middle, or?
Good. So good question. So with a sandwich lease option, you're sandwiched between the seller and the buyer. So you are staying in the middle, right? Okay. So you're basically subletting the house is what you're doing, but with the option of purchase. So you're getting money coming from the buyer. You're paying the owner every month. So buyer pays you, you pay the owner. Buyer pays you, you pay the owner. So there's 3 profit centers in a sandwich lease option. The money the buyer gives you down, right? The cash flow each month.
Right.
And once they go to cash you out, whatever's remaining on that equity.
Right.
So it's 3 profit centers. However, on a lease option assignment, there's only 1 profit center. That's just simply the assignment fee, which is what they're putting down on the property. Same thing as the option fee. So there's only 1 profit center. So there's not three profit centers.
Yeah.
And we can talk about Texas a little bit, as this conversation progresses. But in Texas, you cannot do a sandwich lease option. You can do an assignment all day long. You cannot do a sandwich lease option. And I actually recommend to anybody really fairly new, it doesn't matter if you're in Texas or where you are, I don't recommend doing a sub-2 or a sandwich lease option until you've got a little bit of experience and you've got at least a few months of reserves of capital, because there's the inherent risk of you're going to have to make an empty house payment.
Yeah.
And so you don't want to be, if you have nothing in the bank, a sub-2 or a sandwich lease option is not the best thing for you.
Yeah. Okay. So this sounds a lot like subject to owner finance. How does it differ?
Okay, a huge difference. So with the subject to owner finance, there's a transfer of deed.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So the owner, let's assume Grant Kemp is doing a sub-2 wrap owner finance. Yeah. So you got the owner transferring the deed to Grant or Grant's company. Okay, we'll say to Grant. Okay. Now Grant is making the underlying payments to the mortgage company, right? The owner, he's out of it. The owner's, he's gone.
Yeah.
Now the burden's on Grant, and he's on the deed. Right. Now owner finance it. He creates a wrap around that first note.
Yeah.
Now he's created a secondary note to this buyer, right? And he transferred. Now the deed transfers again to the end buyer, right? On a true wrap, okay? Right. Not a contract for deed, which that's a whole other thing.
Yeah.
With that lease option, you've got the owner, or lease option with the assignment, you've got the owner, you have leasing to buy. The only thing between leasing to buy and the owner is just the lease purchase contract, right? Yeah. We then assign it to the end buyer. We step out, and now it's just a lease with the option of purchase. Gotcha. No transfer of deed, nothing to do with the underlying mortgage. Imagine this. Imagine you had a house, Brandon, in Forney, and you were going to rent it out. But instead, I came to you and said, you know what, Brandon? And this is on a straight lease option. I just said, you know what? I like that house. Would you be willing to sell it for the right price? You said, sure. I said, great. I just need about a year to get my stuff together. So we create a lease purchase. Okay. I'm leasing it with you, but I've got the option to purchase it within that year at a set price.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. So that is a lease purchase, lease option. Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting.
So what happens is the reason I like, and I teach, we can talk about my classes as well later that we offer, because we do 3-day boot camps. We just wrapped one up here in the Dallas area. We keep them really small, and they're really a lot of fun and a lot of content. But the great thing about the lease purchase or the lease option for people starting off is there's no risk and you have no money involved. So when I started leasing to buy back in 2003, the only capital I had invested was about a $68 sign that I stuck. It was the ugliest sign you've ever seen. I think I still have it somewhere. Mm-hmm. It would probably go in the Smithsonian. Right. But it was like I said, $60 sign. So in other words, I didn't have to worry about repairs, how much is it going to cost to repair. Brandon, I could not tell you, I couldn't even come remotely close to telling you how much it costs to fix a foundation. I don't even know how they fix a foundation. And I don't
Correct.
All I know is they put something under a house and the house magically lives.
Yeah.
With lease purchase, what we do, Brandon, is we're working on nice houses, nice areas, and I don't care about equity. They don't need any equity. They can have a lot or little. I don't care.
Right.
But the houses we work with, Brandon, don't need repairs. They're move-in ready. So what
saves
happens?
A lot of headache.
I don't have to see any of the houses. So I've done. I don't know how many lease options we've done. I know it's over 650. I don't know the number.
Jeez.
But and most of those were in Tarrant County. Just those 600, whatever they were, 700. I don't know what they were. I know it's over 650. But the thing is, I didn't have to see almost any of the houses. Like we just picked one up. Literally this morning, we just loaded up a house in Grand Prairie. I don't need to go see the house. I've seen what a house looks like. The house pictures are online. Why do I need to go see it? So it's interesting when I talk to all these owners, they say, well, and they're all excited. And they say, well, don't you need to come see the house? I'm like, no, I'm good. I'm not like a real estate agent where I got to pull up in a pink Cadillac or whatever with my hair all done, wearing high heels, my business cards, and go, oh, I love this bathroom. Oh, this kitchen. I love what you've done with it. I don't care.
Yeah.
Just give me the pictures. Let's go.
Yeah. Interesting.
So it's great for people starting off because you don't need to go see the houses. You don't need to have money involved. There's no risk.
Okay. And so your biggest deal is not only finding the sellers that would do something like this, but I would suppose your main, back end business is finding buyers that pull off deals like that, and then you manage the process in the middle of getting their credit fixed for the purchase in 12 months.
Yeah. So we don't. Yeah. So what happens is, there's the finding the sellers, finding the buyers, putting that together, and in our case, helping those buyers through the transition to finance. Now, most people that teach lease options teach just on the buying side, find a buyer that has the down payment and you're good. You don't care if they can fog a mirror or what. And then once you sign the deal, you're done. Well, we approach it from the mindset of helping people. And so we're very picky about who gets into our program. And so we will actually turn down more people than we approve. The fact they have the down payment, well, that's great. That's to be expected. You better have when I say down payment, the assignment fee. Yeah,
right.
But we're going to help them get prepared for finance. If we look at their debt to income is too tight, they can't get in, or they can't get into that house. If we can't get them financed within a year, can't help them. It's just, we've got that's why our success rate is so high. So on the selling side, the sellers that we work with, Brandon, are typically people that are looking for plan B. They're looking for plan B. So in my 3-day event, I break down the levels of desperation of a homeowner. And it starts with for sale by owner, for rent by owner, MLS, and then for lease. And then you go down to wholesale, sub to foreclosure, right?
Yeah.
So we work with the top 4 categories. For sale by owner, right? They think, I'll stick a sign in the yard and I'll sell it, save 6%.
Yeah.
Well, a month later, they're like, well, crap, we're about to have to move. Let's just rent the damn thing, right?
Yeah.
Well, we're plan B. They don't even know. If they don't know about us, they don't realize that we are plan B. It's basically like a delayed closing, We're getting people that are in the process of buying it. They just need a little bit of time to get their stuff together. So we're looking for people that are looking for that plan B. Maybe they've had the house on the market 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, whatever.
Yeah.
That's where we come in. We also work with a lot of investors. We do a lot of stuff for home investors, as a matter of fact. They would send us a ton of houses. And so that's what we work with on the selling side. On the buying side, again, we're working with people that have good income, but maybe there's some issues with the credit, but it was in the past. Maybe there was a divorce 4 years ago. Well, it's something, so in other words, we're looking for people where maybe there was an issue, but now they've rebounded, and that's just a matter of kind of finally, tweaking some final things to get them for, ready for FHA.
Right.
That's what we're looking for. And that's what we structure.
Yeah. Okay. So a very tight-knit group of people that are going to be within that buying criteria for you.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And so what we can do is we actually work with wholesalers that, wholesalers are spending all this money on marketing, right?
Yeah.
A lot of times they're pulling the same list, using the same yellow postcard, yellow letter, blah, blah, blah. And what happens is these absentee owners, they get 1,000 pieces of mail a day.
Yep.
So we will actually, and so so they'll get leads that don't fit their model, 70% minus repairs, yada, yada. We can take those leads and turn them into money. And we will actually pay wholesalers typically $1,500 for the leads they throw away, if we can turn a lease purchase on it.
Yeah, that's nice. I think I almost entirely stopped my marketing except for a couple of niche lists, but because of what you said, they're spending all this money on the same list and the same yellow postcards. It's like, man, like my foreclosures, I all but shut it off, basically. I only mail my county out here, Kaufman County, because the main list providers don't provide it out here. And so there's only, I don't know, maybe a dozen or two of us out here, but all the other counties, the 4 major ones, I'm out of.
You know, that's interesting. I'm about to start targeting that as of night this morning. Yeah, Kaufman, KAU. That's my new county. Thanks, Brandon.
That works. I mean, there's a lot of mobile homes out here, but actually there is a community out here that probably actually would be really good for you. So in Forney, our same zip code is a community called Heartland, and it's an affordable housing type of area, but they're building new homes. And with FHA buyers coming in the 2019 era, so they're not really prepared to buy. So I'm seeing a lot of brand new homes being foreclosed in Heartland right now.
Is that a city or a town?
Technically, yes, it is. So if you mail them, it's a Heartland, but it's a 75126 zip code. So I continue mailing those to do subject to, I guess, but I've never done one of those either. Because you may or may not know my main business is flipping and now rentals, but I still mail them just because the opportunity to buy a brand new home is still there.
Well, it's interesting because we have a student out there, he's not in Forney, but he's he's just on the edge, I think, of Kaufman County. And so we were on a group call last night, and I'd mentioned Kaufman County, but didn't know specifically. I hadn't done the research yet. I just knew, okay, well, Kaufman County is out there. We can look at that. And so one of the things we look at, is one of the things we specialize in that we're great at is homeowners that live in an area like, I assume, Heartland. We've got homeowners that have a house that's a year, 2 years, 3 years old, maybe, and they've got to move.
Right.
Well, they can't sell their house because people have to drive by 8, model homes.
Yeah.
Their home that's 2 years old. Well, by the time now their 2-year-old home, they're snub their nose at it because they can go right behind them and get a beautiful brand new model home.
Yeah.
Pick up the color of the tile, the paint, the this and that. And so we're great at that. We can step in with that homeowner that has almost no equity, right? Yeah. And help them with a lease purchase, because they're not desperate enough to do a subject to, right? And because their credit's fine. Right. They're not in a bad position. They're just like, we can't sell our house.
Yeah.
And so they're not desperate enough to do a subject to. They don't want to screw up their credit or deed over a house, right?
Right.
Someone's got to be at a much more desperate level to just go, hey, here's my house.
Yeah.
Right. And so I'll definitely take a look at that. And we'll actually hit listed houses. We do something unheard of in the industry, which is I will actually target listed houses that are over 30, 60 days, normally 60 and 90 days old. Yeah.
Well, I don't know the numbers of builds currently going up right now, but it's pretty significant in the several thousands in that immediate community. Okay. So it's actually, I would think, based off our conversation, it's a pretty prime location for what you're looking for, because like I said, I think they started building that community back in the early 2000s. Mm-hmm. But right now there's probably 2,000 houses going up right now in that immediate neighborhood.
And I live close to Keller. Well, I'm actually in Keller. Yeah. But back when Keller was building out, oh my gosh, we did so much business in Keller because it was growing so fast. Yeah. You had California investors coming in, buying properties left and right, and they bring them to us. Right. Lease purchase, and then you had homeowners that couldn't sell their house because they had to compete with the new build. That's a great avenue for us to hit. Yeah. So I'm definitely going to look at that after this podcast for sure.
Awesome. So I'll have to get like a royalty PIN code. So every time one of those houses sells, $700.
I hate this. this internet connection is so bad. It cuts out sometimes.
Yeah,
I don't
know.
It just you got blocky, your audio cut in and out. So
No, it's a great opportunity there, I think, especially to get one of your students out here. So you've never done any flips, no rentals. You went straight into this, and for the foreseeable future, that's what you're doing.
Yes. So I definitely want to get into. So I've done this for so long that, to be honest with you, so I've got leasing to buy, right?
Yeah.
This for 16 years, done whatever, 650, 700 lease options.
That's nuts.
I've got, and then I've got the training side, which is leaseoptionclasses.com.
Yeah.
People come to us and we do 3-day events about 5 times a year. Okay. And we do them either in Dallas-Fort Worth or the Houston area. And those are 3 very, very intense days. I tell people that come to my event, you spend 3 days with me and you're going to leave there knowing more than most any other educator, any other guru in the U.S. about lease options. And so they're very intense, very information-packed 3-day events. Again, they go to leaseoptionclasses.com. So we've got the training side as well. Moving forward, I'll probably I definitely want to go into a multifamily as well. With lease options, Brandon, to be honest with you, I've got it down to such a system. It's freaking boring.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
No, I get that. I mean, even in flipping in the beginning, it's all cool. It's class, it's sexy. That's on TV. And you think you're the man when you're flipping a couple of houses at once. But at some point, you get so many going where you've done enough. You're like, all right, well, what next? This is cool.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. It's exactly like lease options. Like, I guess some people think they're fascinating. And I've got it down to such a system. Like, I can do the numbers for any house. I can do the numbers for the most part, like in my head within 10 seconds. Okay, here's the 4 numbers. Bap, 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 bap. I've got everything is on a pre-drafted email, templates. Literally within 4 minutes, I can have the numbers sent. I've got a 3 email campaign I send, but I can have that done within 4 or 5 minutes, maybe if that. And that includes the contracts all filled out. Bap, 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 bap. Numbers, here you go. Sign here, and boom, here we go. We're off to the races. It's just not fascinating,
Correct.
But I don't want to dissuade people from doing them. I'm just saying when you've done something. It's like a dentist that's done 700 cavities. It's it's just another day in the office.
Yeah.
But we do have the classes that are a lot of fun that we do a few times, just about 5 or so times a year.
Yeah.
I will say for the people listening that are from Texas, obviously you're in Texas, I'm in Texas. I am known as the Texas guy when it comes to lease options, because Texas does have specific laws about lease options. Most everybody is totally wrong on what the law says because they've never read the law, or they believe what they read on Bigger Pockets by a bunch of people that have never read the law as well.
I know, it drives me nuts because being on Bigger Pockets.
and God bless Bigger Pockets, but guys, if there's one thing you take away from this podcast, don't go to a real estate forum for legal advice. Okay.
That's my golden nugget right there. I'm writing it down. That's my golden nugget.
Bing. Yeah. Bigger Pockets is not an attorney.
Right.
Okay? Again, so I tell people, if you want to learn real estate, probably don't need to go to a real estate forum. You need a mentor,
Yeah.
Like I don't know a damn thing about fix and flip. I know what a 2x4 looks like, but I was telling somebody about a couple of months ago, we were having lunch and I said, I get all kinds of leads across my desk. And there was one that came across. I thought, man, this would be a pretty darn easy fix and flip. And I was telling the guy this at lunch. I said, man, I think I'm gonna do a fix and flip. And he looked at me like the mothership had just landed. He said, are you kidding me? He said, dude, you're known for spending no money.
Right.
You have nothing at risk. He said, that's a great thing about you. You've never done a fix and flip. Why do that now? It destroys your reputation.
Yeah, exactly.
I thought, yeah, screw it. I'm not doing a fix and flip.
Yeah.
But anyway, so going back to Texas does have specific laws about lease options. And so they're actually pretty easy to follow. You just have to know the laws. You have to have the right contracts. My contracts have cost me in excess of $30,000 to have drafted by different law firms, different specific attorneys. But the nice thing about having that law out there and all the rumors, boy, talk about wide open playing field.
Right.
Nobody else is doing. Talk about zero competition.
Yeah, that'd be nice. I mean, there's only about 500,000 of us flippers out here in DFW right now. No big deal.
Exactly. And you know what? Everybody in DFW gets so tired of seeing your face and Jason McDougal and blah, blah, blah. You know, we're tired of it.
I know.
We're just tired of it. So, so that's the great thing about lease options, zero competition.
Yeah, that's great.
So, and again, you can do them. And people always say, well, can you do them where I live? I want to know at what point can you not do it where you live? You know, you can do lease options, anywhere. We do them in, we just got a house in Staten Island. And I've never even been to Staten Island. We have a student up there. Yeah. We got students in Florida. We got them all over the U.S. So you can do them, anywhere. Doesn't matter.
No, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's great. I don't know, about 5 minutes ago, you mentioned a website. What was that website again they can run to?
I'm going to give you 2 websites. Okay. Now, I'm going to do this. I'm going to give 2 websites for this purpose. The people listening or watching can see this in action. They're not just going to some site where they can buy, the training. Yeah. I want them to see what it is John does. What is he talking about? So that site is Leasing to Buy. That's TOBUY, leasingtobuy.com. And if you go there, you'll see all the houses we have. And you're going to see we have very nice houses, $250,000, $250,000 and above.
Yeah.
For the most part, we rarely do anything under 200. I know for a fact we have one down in by Houston that's 180, 185. That's a rarity. It's a nice house, but anyway. So leasingtobuy.com. If you want to learn how to do lease options, and it doesn't matter what state you're in, but particularly if you're in Texas, you want to go to leaseoptionclasses.com. Leaseoptionclasses.com. And they've got that site actually on leaseoptionclasses.com. Literally yesterday just went live with a brand new website. And over the next week, we're making adjustments and tweaks to it. By the time people see this podcast, it'll all be finished. Right now, it's got like some old videos on there that we're tweaking and adjusting. But
boring and drab, is that the topic there?
Wait, how to dress in drag? What'd you say?
No, boring and drab. Yeah. No, Connor's podcast, Boring and Drab.
Connor Steinbrook's new podcast, Boring and Drab. That's right. For those of y'all,
dressing in drag. Jeez.
Dressing, Brandon and I, before this started, I'm always making fun of all of our good friends like Connor Steinbrook. I was talking about how I did his show called Boring and Drab. The most boring podcast ever.
Yeah.
But now Brandon's got a new one, Dressing in Drag.
Yeah, no, perfect. No, I'm going to switch my title right there.
Yeah.
It's another good one, though, because it's so out there that the people would listen to it.
Dang it. This is golden, man. Listen to me. I spew gold. God, you say, okay, the only thing you've given of any value on this podcast, Brandon, Heartland.
It's some stupid city. Yeah.
Heartland. That's all you gave. I gave dressing in drag, boring and drab.
Yeah. I mean, that's why I bring people like you on. It's just golden nuggets all day.
Oh my gosh. This is dressing in drag. Yeah. But anyway, so we've got Leasing to Buy. We have lease option classes. People can go there and learn more about lease options. They can actually get all my training materials. We have has training modules online. They actually get this, Brandon, old school physical materials. All right. There's online stuff, but they actually get stuff shipped to them UPS. I'm old school that way. Yeah, and when they get my materials, they get to come to a 3-day event for free. Okay. So I think it's a heck of a deal. And so we train people from all over the U.S. So I think that's what else can we do? Who else can we make? Can we make fun of Mitch Steven?
Go for it. I mean, I don't know him too well. I mean, I'm in his Texas 100, but I don't know him personally enough to make fun of him. So you go for that one.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you, you can just make up whatever you want about Mitch then. So
well, you mentioned apartments for a second. Why were you thinking about getting into that? Because that's kind of an avenue I'm looking to get into, and actually if all goes well, crossing my fingers, in 3 weeks I'll own a small complex. But just interesting why the lease to buy guy is going over to work.
Because at the end of the day, although I'm the lease purchase guy, I'm known as Joe McCall coined the phrase. He calls me the king of lease options. That may be, but it's gotten boring. And when your brain works like yours does and mine does, I'm sure you've got to be challenged, right?
Yeah.
I mean, look behind you, Brandon. Fearless pursuit of happiness. Climbing the rocks. Fear is a emotion that can trick us into living a boring life.
Yeah.
Well, lease options have become so easy for me; it becomes boring.
Yeah.
I need to have something that's challenging me, and so multifamily is something totally different, right? You're looking at a different set of numbers, than you are with lease options. And it's exciting. It's new. When I say it's exciting and new and fresh, I mean for me. Obviously, I've been around for a while, but for me, it's something new and exciting. Yeah. So it's something to challenge me, And the thing has been, you and I both have people, incredible friends in this industry that are in multifamily that we can lean on. Like for me, it'd be Corey Peterson. Which, by the way, have you ever had Corey on?
No, he's big player.
Yeah, he's in my mastermind actually, and I need to connect you and make a note. I'm going to make a note to connect you and Corey.
Okay.
You know what? I told Connor I was going to connect him and Corey, but I'll tell you what, I like you better.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah.
So screw Connor. I'm just going to connect you, Corey. All right.
That works.
Actually, when I was doing that after our interview with Connor, and I was doing that live Facebook.
Yeah.
And showing Shelly Peterson hopped on the live Facebook. So,
well, aren't they on vacation? So she jumped on while on the beach.
They just got back from they're in Phoenix right now. They live outside of Phoenix, but yeah, they were in Hawaii. Yeah. So but very, very good guys. But anyway, the point is that you and I have enough contacts in this industry that we can lean on them if we are going to get into say multifamily. I can reach out to Corey and say, you know what, Corey, I'm going to lean on you, not just lean on you, but I'm going to pay you for your guidance and expertise to guide me through this, right? And that's something that I think a lot of people are too afraid of paying for a mentor, paying for guidance. And I think that comes from, that mindset, Brandon, comes from a couple of things. One is they think that they can get anything free on the internet, right? So they think they can get anything free on the internet, and they can just do enough research. Okay, well, how long have you been researching real estate and haven't done a damn deal? Mm-hmm. Right? And they think that people that charge for their knowledge are con artists, right? And there are going to be people that have a little bit of knowledge but pretend like they know a whole lot and charge for it, and it's a rip. So I understand that, but if I was going to do fix and flip, guys, I've been in real estate for 16 years. If I was going to do fix and flip, I can assure you I'm not going to do it alone, right? I'm going to go to, say, somebody like Brandon or somebody's done a lot of fix and flip and say, hey, I'm going to pay you this much, which may seem like a lot to some people. I'm going to pay you this much so I don't lose this much and go bankrupt because I was too selfish and too ego-driven to pay you for guidance, right?
In real estate, it's the quickest way to do that.
Exactly.
To go bankrupt. Yeah.
Exactly. Thinking you go online to a forum, learn it all on your own, and go out and thinking you do it by yourself, and I don't need help. Guys, that's the wrong way to do it. I tell you what, experience is the most expensive education.
Yep.
So I'd rather pay you for your experience than me have to experience it firsthand.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I wish I would have taken that avenue in the beginning. I went that route of it's on the internet. And I had a couple great home runs. I was killing it. But late last year, got my ass handed to me on a deal. I was like, oh, okay, that's what it's like to lose money.
Yeah. I lost money on. I've only lost money on 2 deals, and they were both sandwich lease options.
Really?
And it was years and years and years ago. When I knew quite a bit about lease options, but I broke my rules. And my background as a day trader, when you're day trading, for me anyway, I'd had a legal pad, and I'd write down every single trade I made every day. I wrote down what time, even what time I bought it. I bought this stock at this time. And that's actually very important if you're going to trade stocks. You have to know exactly what time you're buying it. There's a reason why. Mm-hmm. I'd write down what time I bought it, how much I bought, why I bought it. And when I sold it, if I made or lost money, I would put down why I lost or why I made money. If I lost money, I could go back to my rule. Rule number 4. I broke this rule.
Yeah.
I broke this rule. I broke this rule. And almost every time I broke a rule, I lost money.
Interesting.
So I broke my rules and lost money. It wasn't a total bloodbath. One of them was almost nothing. It was like $1,400, whatever. But the other one was, I don't know, it was well over $10,000.
Yeah.
And it wasn't just the money; it was the emotional, just disaster.
Yeah.
So anyway, so there you go. So words of wisdom is pay for a mentor. I don't care, what niche of real estate you're going to do. Pay for a mentor.
Yeah. Well, I'll make sure to text Corey Peterson right now and saying John's gonna be sending you a big fat check soon.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. That's right. I'll tell you what. I will text him after this. I'll tell him that I'll connect you guys for sure. And don't say anything to Connor. All right, because he gets his feelings hurt so bad. Like, here's the thing about Connor. With his podcast, he doesn't even have a banner behind him like you do. At least you got a banner.
I know, man. I went super professional right away. Yeah.
He actually films him. He actually took his clothes out of his closet, and that's where he films his podcast from.
Yeah, I thought it was like in some dungeon, but who knows?
That's almost like a storage building he's in.
Right. Yeah. I think I learned all my podcasting from him, actually. No, I like Connor.
I can only jack him because I love him to death. So.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we got your websites. I think I drilled you enough on lease options. I got my title, I got my golden nugget, and I got my next podcast interview. One thing I always do with all my interviewees is ask them one question. If you had 6 months to live, what would you do with it?
If I had 6 months to live,
you were given a diagnosis today. You're done for in 6 months. What would you do?
I would reconcile with my kids and my wife.
Yeah. Family. Yeah.
Because I'm not married, so I would reconcile with them.
Gotcha.
Because I'd want them there, but I'd want them there when I was dying.
Yeah. Well, that's why I have these questions, so we can think about the things that are ultimately most important on our deathbed. Cool, man.
Hey, thanks for ending this on such a wow.
Yeah. Well, hey, you could have skipped over that.
Dude, I'd reconcile with my family. Yeah. Thanks, Brandon. God, you're freaking Oprah here. You're like.
But except I'm not giving away cars and money, so maybe one day that'd be cool. But not right now. Hey, we're all working to live our life, and at the end of the day, we got to determine what's best for us.
Hey, aren't you? Maybe I'm totally wrong. Do you have your license, your pilot's license?
Almost. A couple hours away. Almost.
All right, man. Well, I've got my instrument rating.
Awesome.
I've been flying I haven't flown in about 5 years. That's the whole thing. I probably won't get my medical back, but I can still fly. I just have to fly with another pilot. That's the whole story. But man, when you want to go flying, I'll go with you, man.
Yeah. Actually, I haven't announced it anywhere. And if people listen to this interview long enough, they'll hear it. But when I get my license, my next podcast is going to be an interview in the air. So I'll have it recorded on the dash with the 2 headsets being recorded, and it'll be a podcast interview in the air flying over.
Why didn't you and I do that?
Because I'm not licensed yet.
Don't scrap this whole stupid thing and let me up there. I'll bring my, because it'll be you and I flying the plane, right?
Yep.
And we'll talk. And we'll record the whole thing. We'll do the interview from the air, right? And that way, in case, the great thing is you won't have to worry about your passenger screaming or whatever. You can fart around with the GPS while I'm taking over flying the plane, right?
Right.
And well, then that way we can make fun of Connor Steinbrook from 6,500 feet.
Yeah. Well, I can green screen it and make it look like we're in a plane right now.
That's right. Can you make it look like we're climbing like a glacier?
Yeah.
Like you're wearing a T-shirt and we're on Mount Everest.
Right. I'll do what I can. Actually, if you've been on Adam Adams' podcast, he does green screen it. And so he'll ask you what background you want.
Are you kidding? You know what? He's in my, I'm in a mastermind with Sean McCloskey, and he's in one of the groups.
Yeah.
I'll have to tell you the story offline. I can't record it. Well, anyway, about the first time I met Adam Adams, it's hysterical. Like it's beyond funny. But yeah.
Well, on that note, well, I'll hear your story here in a second because we're all wrapped up for the most part. But we'll get you back on when you're doing apartments. We'll talk about apartments in the air.
All right. Sounds good, man.
Cool. I appreciate you coming on.
All right. Take care.
All right. Later.